It's crazy to think that The Matrix is now almost 20 years old. I still remember being amazed at that first bullet time scene, where the policeman is about to cuff Trinity, and she promptly breaks his arm, breaks his nose, then leaps into the air, and awesomeness ensues. The action freezes, and the audience's viewpoint moves around to the other side of the room. Then she finishes the kick. It was like nothing I'd seen before, and the use of slow motion and bullet time throughout was so masterfully done that movies and games have either copied the technique or outright spoofed the scenes from the Wachowskis' masterpiece ever since. Even today, I can go to my local movie theater and watch an ad for the snack bar where a hot dog dodges mustard and ketchup in the same way and with the exact same moves as Neo used to dodge bullets in The Matrix. Slow motion and bullet time have been used so much over the years that it's hardly anything special these days. As I said, games and movies have been using these techniques for years now, but virtual reality is a platform where old things can become new and different because we're experiencing it from within the action, not just watching it on the screen. In VR, horror games are scarier, stories are more immersive, and action is more intense because of its unique nature. This is one reason I love my PSVR so much, and SUPERHOT VR offers the chance to experience slow motion, bullet time action in an entirely new way. For this review, I want to focus on gameplay, sound, graphics, and immersion, and then at the end I'll have some final thoughts. Now, the gameplay is fairly simple. You grab things and shoot guns with the trigger buttons. You let go of objects with the move buttons. So when you're throwing things, you'll use the move buttons to release the object and hopefully send them flying towards your enemies. This took a little getting used to, but once I got the hang of it, it felt natural. Throughout the course of the game, you'll shoot guns, use knives, hatchets, cleavers, hammers, throwing stars, random household objects, and even superpowers to deal damage. And that's as satisfying as it sounds. Many games have used time manipulation as a gameplay mechanic, but not in this way. Time only moves forward when you move, and the speed is dependent upon how fast you move. There were times when I was in a certain position, having just dodged a bullet, and I didn't really want to move back to my other position yet, so I would just wave my hand as almost as if to reel the time forward until everything got to a spot where I wanted to move again. You can move quickly enough so that the game isn't even in slow motion if you want to, but you'll probably die pretty quickly if you do that. SUPERHOT VR is just as much puzzle game as it is action. You must decide the best way to proceed, who to take out first, how to take them out, which way to lean or crouch when dodging bullets. There's a lot more at play here than simply pulling the trigger and unloading on enemies. I found myself retrying many of the levels multiple times, but it never seems to get repetitive or boring because you're learning how to tackle each situation through trial and error. There are some minor tracking issues which sometimes would even cause me to fail stages, but those issues almost completely go away if you stand to play and keep a good distance from the camera, giving yourself a larger play area. Now, the sound in this game is amazing. The music is great, it's upbeat. The bullets whiz by your head as you do your best Neo impression. There's a satisfying thud that accompanies the shattering sounds when you break things, whether it's an object or an enemy's face. Also, positional 3D audio adds so much to immersion in VR, and it's implemented perfectly in SUPERHOT. Now, the art style is simplistic, and the game does suffer from some jaggies, but there's a pro patch that I haven't downloaded yet that should help with that. The backgrounds are solid white, the enemies are bright red, and weapons and any objects that can be used as weapons are black. You might think you would want more detail, but the gameplay is so good and the color scheme serves its purpose so well, you soon come to appreciate its function. The only problem I see here is that often you're so engrossed in the action, you don't even think about the virtual space surrounding you. And that's a testament to the level of immersion in SUPERHOT VR. This game reminds me of Mortal Blitz in that it almost feels like a room-scale experience when you're standing up to play. This is when VR is at its best, when there is virtually no disconnect between what your eyes are seeing and what your body is doing. Also, because of this, even people who normally get motion sickness in VR are having no trouble with this game. There's a lot going on, but you're in complete control the whole time, and there's no locomotion, so I promise you, you won't have to worry about losing your lunch. As I said before, when discussing gameplay, the only thing that brings down the level of immersion and takes you out of the world is the tracking issues. Again, it doesn't happen enough to ruin the experience, but it does remind you that you aren't actually in that world. Once you've beaten the game, you'll unlock Endless Mode, where you can slice, dice, shoot, and explode heads to your heart's content. I had more fun with SUPERHOT VR than I've had with a game in a while. Once I got into it and got the hang of things, it all felt so natural. This is also my new favorite game to showcase my PSVR to people who've never tried it. Have you played SUPERHOT VR yet? If so, what did you think? Comment below and let me know. Or just say hi. But if you have a VR setup, you need to own this game. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. I'm thankful for the opportunity to do this, and I hope you are enjoying our great hobby as much as I am. Since I've changed channels and changed the way I've been doing things, I'm going to be able to bring some videos to you that are a lot longer than I was before. And this may take the form of longer reviews, or it may be like this video, which is a review that's pretty much the same length as my former reviews, but with a lot more bonus footage at the end. So I hope you enjoy the bonus footage of SUPERHOT VR, and I'll go ahead and make this known. If you want to see a review of a particular game or have any suggestions, feel free to leave those in the comments, and I'll be checking those often. So I'll try to bring you the videos that you want to see. Thank you again.